Milwaukee will be rocking this weekend with the I-94 rivalry resuming between the Brewers and Cubs at Miller Park. Ryan Braun continues to stay hot after capping off an incredible month of August with a batting average north of 400, and he's been doing it. And also Alcides Escobar has been coming on strong as of late, as he'll go head-to-head with another budding rookie shortstop in the Cubs, Starlin Castro. Hello and welcome to Brewers Baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin. I'm Telly Hughes. The Crew is coming off a series win over the Cardinals to open this homestand, and there are several reasons why the Brewers have been playing good baseball as of late. Number one, the starting staff has been stifling since September 1st, posting a 2.40 ERA, which is the best in baseball. Ryan Braun has been breaking over the last 32 games with a .403 average, 4 home runs, and 20 RBIs. And he'll try to keep it going against Carlos Zambrano, who has gone 4-0 with a 1.98 ERA in his last 6 starts since rejoining the Cubs rotation back on August 9th. Coming up, it's all about the former Cub who got away and has become a baseball blessing for the Brewers. Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder will have more on the man at the hot corner, Casey McGee, next on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Improvement needs. By AT&T, find out what's possible with the nation's fastest mobile broadband network. AT&T, rethink possible. And by Triple Hop Brewed Miller Lite, taste greatness. Oh, that sunset's getting closer and closer in the evening, right? As we approach the fall, we've got a lot of baseball left, however. September baseball, as a matter of fact. The Cubs are in town for the final time. One last chance for Brewers fans to boo Carlos Zambrano and the Chicago Cubs. Zambrano is on the mound against Dave Bush here tonight. It is a retro Friday here in Milwaukee for the Cubs and the Brewers. Casey McGee, it's time to start thinking about Casey McGee among the elite third baseman in the National League. He's certainly putting up the numbers the last couple of seasons. And we welcome you back. We are approaching first pitch here at Miller Park. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Brian Anderson, and I think the guy who got away is Casey McGehee for the Chicago Cubs. We've been talking a lot about September call-ups. Brock McGehee was a September call-up in 08, and the Cubs could certainly use a guy like that in their lineup these days.
I'll tell you, Casey McGee's a lot less expensive than Aramis Ramirez, and the number's much better. You know, when Lou Piniella was here as a manager, he always said that they wish they had Casey McGehee back because he has really done a nice job, particularly against the Cubs in his career. A .296 hitter against the Cubs, 3 home runs, 19 RBIs. He's fifth in the National League in RBIs this year. Only David Wright is tied with him amongst third basemen. But that's why the Brewers really don't mind other teams walking Prince Fielder, because Casey McGehee has been the man just about all season long. It's been a lot of fun watching him.
The one thing he has a chance to do, become the first in franchise history to drive at 100 runs as a third baseman. The Brewers are looking for another strong start. It's been a good run since September 1st. Tonight it's Dave Bush on the mound. Stay with us. Lineup's first pitch coming up. A Friday night in Milwaukee, and we are set for baseball. The homestand continues tonight. The Chicago Cubs, game one of a 3-game series. And the roof is open. We're glad you're with us. Brian Anderson with Bill Schroeder, Drew Olson. The final meeting of the year between these two teams, and a disappointing season for both, for sure. But a lot of talented young players we're anxious to see tonight. There is Mike Quade, and he is the interim manager for the Chicago Cubs. He's from Evanston, Illinois, so he's managing his hometown team after Lou Piniella called it quits earlier this season. Here is Quade's lineup, brought to you by Subway. It's Kosuke Fukudome leading off, then Starlin Castro, the rookie shortstop, with Marlon Byrd, the all-star, batting third. Middle of the order for Quade is Michael Hoffpauer, Giovanni Soto, and Alfonso Soriano. And then it's Blake DeWitt, Jeff Baker, and Carlos Zambrano.
Well, Dave Bush making his 28th start of the year and 29th appearance, a 7-11 record, ERA just under 5. Very good his last time out in a no decision against the Philadelphia Phillies in Philadelphia. 3 runs, 6 innings, and he only gave up the 1 home run.
That's been a good run for Brewers starting pitching here lately. Since September 1st, the lowest ERA in the major leagues as Bush starts Fukudome with strike 1. Away we go. Ron Kolpa calling the balls and strikes. Lance Barksdale, Ed Rapuano, and Tom Hallion on the bases. Fukudome typically struggles in the last couple of months of the season, at least in his first 2 years, but that has not been the case in 2010. Matter of fact, Kosuke Fukudome is on some kind of hot streak right now for the Chicago Cubs, hitting .367 since August 1st. And that might bode well for Fukudome. He was a free agent at season's end. Signed a 3-year deal with the Cubs. And this is the 3rd year of that contract. It started with a bang, and it was against the Brewers back in 2008.
It was tough finding playing time for Fukudome when Lou Piniella was managing his ball club. Fukudome got into Pinella's doghouse very quickly. It was last year. And with Mike Quade at the helm, he's getting a little bit more playing time.
In the air, and Ryan Braun will settle under this one. And that's how this night begins. Here's the defense. You've seen Braun in left. Chris Dickerson starts in center with Corey Hart in right. The infield is Casey McGee, Alcides Escobar, Ricky Weeks, and Prince Fielder, and a battery of Jonathan Lucroy and Dave Bush. Elaine's Farm and Fleet defense tonight. And here is Starlin Castro, who comes in with the 4th highest batting average in the National League as a rookie. Castro hitting .317, 3 home runs, 40 runs batted in. He's been in the big leagues since May 7th. His debut in the major leagues was against the Reds, and he drove in 6 runs in his major league debut. Now 3 homers, 40 RBIs for Castro, and he is going to be in the group, in the picture for National League Rookie of the Year. It's quite a talented group this year, however.
Yeah, it is a very big group, both position players and pitchers. It's going to be tough to win that award this year.
Castro's been a bit banged up. He had a collision against Brett Wallace of the Astros earlier in the week, and there was some question whether he would be in the starting lineup tonight. He's dealing with a little tightness in his back. A .317 average is currently 3rd. Buster Posey, many have Buster Posey of the Giants as their front runner for Rookie of the Year. Not just putting up the numbers, but putting up the numbers for a contender.
Yeah, Chris Johnson continues to swing the bat well. The Houston Astros, we saw him when when the Brewers were in Houston. When Houston came here, he's a pretty good looking hitter.
Yeah, both Johnson and Buster Posey homering last night. Posey had a big home run as the Giants beat the Padres. Little cue shot right to Weeks, and 2-minute out. Well, we heard from Jonathan Lucroy earlier today, and we asked his thoughts and his preparation for the Chicago Cubs.
This team right here, all I had to do was really go in there and just kind of refresh myself, because I've already faced them. What has it been, 3 times or something since I've been here, and so I'm pretty comfortable with this team as far as calling pitches against them. And actually, they brought out some young guys I played against last year, so I'm pretty comfortable with them too. So hopefully, we can get a win out of it.
And that is a catcher who is set at ease with a little familiarity, and that's going to continue for Lucroy as he goes around the league a few times.
That's some young players that have been called up. Darwin Barney, the only new face in the starting lineup tonight for the Cubs. So, Jonathan, it's all a matter of Dave Bush executing pitches tonight.
As easy as 1, 2, 3.
That familiarity thing can go one of 2 ways. I mean, when the offense is familiar with a pitcher, that's not a good thing, but Lucroy has been around the block now in the National League and getting somewhat used to these hitters.
Well, you figure Jonathan Lucroy just going to continue to get better and better. And he certainly knows the book on Marlon Byrd. Dangerous hitter for the Chicago Cubs. Much different lineup here in Chicago. Certainly They are without Derek Lee, traded to the Braves, and that changes the complexion of their lineup a little bit. As Bush hits the corner for a strike, it's 2-2. Bird, the lone all-star for the Cubs this year. And he's had a very good year. He has given the Cubs just exactly what they expected this season. Has a batting average over 300. He's hitting .302 to start play today. And he is one hit away from matching his career high, which he set last year. Has 154 hits this year.
Man, just a good all-around player. Very smart, very good defensively. Does a good job getting on base.
Swing and a miss. Dave Bush strikes him out, and a good start for Bush. A 1-2-3 inning with a K. Off and running here at Miller Park. Cubs go down in order. The Brewers are coming up for the first time. The Brewers coming up against Carlos Zambrano, and here is the Subway lineup turned in by Ken Maka. Ricky Weeks, Corey Hart, and Ryan Braun at the top, and then it's Fielder, McGee, and Dickerson in the middle of the order, with Escobar, Lucroy, and Bush rounding it out. Again, Zambrano and Carlos Zambrano is on a bit of a hot streak since his return to the starting rotation.
Yeah, put back in the rotation on August 9th. This is his 7th start since that time. He's 4-0. With an ERA just a touch under 2. This is his 28th career start against Milwaukee. He's got an 11-8 record.
Well, he was out for a month. He was on the restricted list, and a session with an anger management specialist. And Mike Quaddy reporting that Zambrano has come back a different kind of player.
And not the big strikeout pitcher that he has been in the past. You can see the strikeout total a bit down. Zambrano would routinely get into the double digits. Not throwing as hard as he used to.
7-6 overall Zambrano, 4.23 ERA. Facing Ricky Weeks to start this bottom of the first. Zambrano in the last year of his deal as well. He has stated that he wants to stay in Chicago. He wants to be a Cub. Good cut by Weeks. Fouls it back. And of course, Miller Park, the location of one of his greatest triumphs, the no-hitter that he threw against the Astros 2 years ago. What's interesting about that no-hitter, he really wasn't the same after that. Right. You know, he was coming back from injury at the time of his no-hitter, and Lou Piniella was concerned about letting him continue in the game with the high pitch count, and he hasn't been the same kind of pitcher since. A lot of breaking balls, and it's a breaking ball that strikes out Ricky Weeks. One away. Here's how the Cubs line up defensively. Some new names in this mix. You've got Soriano, Bird, and Fukudome in the outfield. And then it's Baker, Castro, DeWitt, and Hoffpauir around the horn, with Giovanni Soto catching Carlos Zambrano.
Yeah, the Cubs have committed more errors than any team in the major leagues. They've committed 115 errors.
The Chicago Cubs have used 18 rookies this year. Think about that. 18 rookies, and 15 of those 18 at some point made their major league debut. That is one off the franchise record. The Cubs used 19 rookies back in 2000. But you're talking about some roster turnover for the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah. I was going to say there's going to be a big shakeup and a big turnover with this Cubs team. You wonder if Zambrano's going to be back, but the turnovers already happened with the trading deadline deals that the Cubs pulled off.
Well, no longer in a Cubs uniform, Ted Lilly, Mike Fontenot, Ryan Theriot, Derek Lee, all traded away. You're talking about faces of the franchise for a couple of years as Zambrano strikes out Corey Hart. Back-to-back Ks. How about a scouting report? We go to Brewers hitting coach Dale Swaim on Big Z.
I think he's coming right at hitters a lot more. It looks like he's throwing a lot more fastballs coming at guys and getting quicker outs, which he's always had kind of that nibbles probably a little too much sometimes when he's gets a high pitch count, guys get on base and stuff. Now he's like with a lot more sinkers and staying away from a lot more of his slow stuff. So.
He's attacking hitters, but his walk total is way up. Month of August, 23 walks for Zambrano, 25 strikeouts. He had 2 games where he walked 7 in one and 6 in another. Always been a guy that's walked a lot of batters.
2 outs for Ryan Braun. Braun continues his good hitting at the plate, and it really started the 1st of August. Braun hitting .304 overall now with 20 home runs, 84 driven in. Ryan Braun homered against the Cardinals on Wednesday, and he becomes the 5th Brewer to have at least 20 homers this year. It's only the 4th time in franchise history that has occurred. Ryan Braun has been a part of 3 of the 4. Braun hitting over .400 his last 34 games. And that includes the highest batting average in the month of August in Major League Baseball. Zambrano just missed.
Tough pitch to take. Ryan's been using the whole field very well. He's picking his spots to try and drive one out of the ballpark. That one was probably a bit low. Tough pitch to take. And it's amazing to have 5 hitters with 20 or more home runs. Brewers one of the better teams offensively.
Braun strikes out. Zambrano spins one in the dirt, and he strikes out the side in the 1st inning. Has not been racking up many Ks, but he gets 3. In 1/2 inning. In the 1st, we head to the 2nd, no score. ballpark, and we'll cherish all of these games, as many as we have left, not many, for the Brewers as they wind up the 2010 season. Dave Bush with a 3-up, 3-down first inning. He'll face Micah Hoffpower to start the second. Hoffpower taking over for Derek Lee. Big shoes to fill, but this is a guy who's had some success at the major league level in the past, but really no position for him as long as Lee was there. And now the door is open for Micah Hoffpower. To the opposite field, Braun settles under it. And 1 man out in the second inning. Leads us to our Carsoup.com email the booth question tonight, Rock. Stan in Sparta wants to know, what is the future of the managerial position with the Chicago Cubs?
I'll tell you, this guy right here, Mike Quade, has opened up some eyes. I mean, he has taken over the reins and has been hands-on in just about every aspect of what's going on out there. They like him. He's got an opportunity. Alan Trammell has a shot. Talking about Ryan Sandberg, Freddie Gonzalez. A lot of guys are being bandied about. A lot of names being thrown around, but nothing really definite until the season's over. But they're saying around this Cubs club that Quade's got a chance to, get the job.
Well, it is quite a testament to get a ball club to play inspired baseball when you're this many games under 500. The Cubs are 20 games under starting play today. They're 60 and 80. So you kind of gauge what kind of roster he has and the kind of playability these guys have shown under Quade. He's a long-time baseball man, Mike Quade, and a guy who has a ton of managerial experience in the minor leagues, and you kind of actually root for guys like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And new guy getting an opportunity, making his mark. He came in and just shuffled that Cubs batting order dramatically when he started his first game. Dropped Soriano in the lineup. He said he dropped him to the 7th spot.
There's a strikeout for Dave Bush. Second strikeout for Bush. And with more on the managerial situation with the Cubs, we check in with Drew Olson. How you doing, Drew?
Doing great, B.A. Mike Quade and Ken Maka have a long history together. They were together in the Montreal organization, and then they were both on the staff under Art Howe in Oakland, and they're in similar situations tonight. Both guys, you might think there's no post-game implications tonight, so both guys can put their feet up and watch the kids play. But Ken Maka's trying to nudge the Brewers to the 500 mark, and Quade's trying to audition for this Cubs job. So they have to balance that. They have to be able to play the kids and try to win the game.
Well, and I'm sure they can share some stories as well. Ken Maka's in the final year of his contract as well. And look, the record of the team does not go on a player's record. It goes on the manager's record. And both of these guys know that. That's what they signed up for when they took these jobs, to be big league managers. And it is kind of interesting that they go all the way back to their Montreal days, back in the 80s, Mike Quade and Ken Maka.
It's a small world, that baseball world.
High fly ball, deep right center. Dickerson feeling for the wall. He leaps, he's got it. Nice play, Chris Dickerson. Just getting used to his new surroundings in Milwaukee. And he makes the catch to end the frame. in the front row tonight. No scores. We head to the bottom of the second. Prince Fielder will lead off for Milwaukee. Fielder, McGee, and Dickerson due up for the Brew Crew. You know, our buddy Roland Hernandez, the man who owns the Rock Bat Company, he has a brand new bat available tonight. Prince Fielder is using one, and we were down there at the batting cage before the game. Check out the knob of this bat that Fielder is using. It's a little bit different look, and even though it has Ryan Braun's number on it, Prince ordered those specially. But take us through it, Rock. What's the deal here?
No, this is the normal knob on a bat. I mean, it goes all the way around. This has the angle, so it's for hitters that like to put that bottom pinky or the bottom two fingers on the bottom of the bat around the knob, and what you do is you get it in this position, and you really don't have any pressure on these two fingers. A lot of times with this, you get the blisters, and you'll get a hot spot. You can see the different angle on it, and that's a patent by Roland Hernandez and Rock Bats that Prince Fielder's using. You can only get this kind of thing through Rock Bat. So it's kind of an innovation. We really never seen anything quite like it.
Guys who have their
see if it works.
Pinkies off the edge, and you see where the bat hits the palm. I was talking to Corey Hart earlier, and he said, you know, it protects the hamate bone more than any other. And Corey has a permanent scab or a permanent blister there, just where it's around the callus,
yeah.
And it, you know, it can affect the bone after a while. So, you know, this gentleman
kind of interesting
had this patent, and of course Roland Hernandez is the guy who can actually make it come true because he's the wood expert,
a wood scientist.
And he comes up with these bats, and I'm anxious to see how this one plays because this is brand new. You know, it was used in New York, this particular bat, for the first time. And the bat went to the Hall of Fame.
There you go.
Because it's never been seen before. And I'd never seen it before. And I'm ready to go take some batting practice right now.
You got a maple bat there. You know, he made me a bat. My name on it. It is a white ash bat.
White ash painted black.
Right.
Mine doesn't have a name.
You can see the grain on these. You can't see the grain on the maple bats.
It's called Pro XR knob technology. You never thought you'd get knob technology tonight, but you're getting it. As McGee draws the walk, back-to-back walks issued by Zambrano. So what do you think?
I like it.
I mean, it
takes getting used to.
It's innovative.
Yeah, it takes getting used to. It's a completely different feel. And you know how important the feel, you know, of the bat and the hand and all that, you know, getting used to it, the routine. I mean, it's going to take a while for, I think, guys to really use it and grasp onto it.
I handed one to Gorman Thomas. You remember him, right?
Yeah.
Gorman Thomas, he looked at the bat and he goes, what in the world do you have in your hand? And we've been playing this game for over 100 years, and they're going to change the bat. And then he held it for a minute. He goes, hey, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
It does give you some support in there.
So if you can convince Gorman, I think you're in good shape.
I mean, I think in the dictionary under old school, his handsome picture is there.
Yeah.
Dickerson with 2 on, trying to bunt the runners over. I know Corey Hart was considering using one tonight. I'm not sure if he actually put it in play. He might need a couple more rounds of BP. That's the one thing about Prince Fielder. He's a lot more open to different bats, different weights. So it makes sense that he would be the first to use it.
Whatever feels good that particular day. There are a couple of walks by Zambrano. We just got done talking about the fact that, you know, Zambrano's been walking a lot of batters. He walked the first 2 in this inning, and a little bit of a meeting between he and Brad Fisher and Dickerson, trying to get the signs right.
Two balls and a strike on Dickerson. Chance for the Brewers to put some runs on the board early. And he swings away. It's caught by Zambrano. Nowhere to go. Good base running by McGee and Fielder to hold ground. Otherwise, that's a double play for the Cubs. And a bad break for Chris Dickerson.
Yeah, got it down on the handle just a little bit. That's what allowed Zambrano to make the catch. Had some time to react to that glove up there, and taking away a base hit, maybe a run. Bad break for Dickerson.
Fielder is still at second, McGee at first. And here is Alcides Escobar. Escobar hitting .249, 4 home runs and 40 runs batted in. He's another guy that is using the rock bats. Bouncing ball, a chance for 2. 6-4-3 double plays. Zambrano walked the first 2 Brewers. But the Brewers come up with 0. Presented by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. And by Ho Chunk Gaming Wisconsin, your ticket to more. Back at beautiful Miller Park, the roof is open tonight, and we head to the 3rd inning. No score. Dave Bush has retired 6 straight with a couple of strikeouts. The Brewers had 2 on with nobody out in their half of the 2nd inning. A line drive out and a double play ended the threat. Blake DeWitt coming over from the Dodgers. DeWitt hitting .270 this year, 47 RBIs, getting the chance tonight to play second base. Well, the Dodgers a few years back were high on 2 third basemen in their organization, Andy LaRoche and Blake DeWitt. They were coming up through the minor league system with Los Angeles, and they felt one of the 2 was going to be a franchise cornerstone at third base at some point. But LaRoche was traded away to the Pirates in '08. DeWitt was playing every day. Then the Dodgers traded for Casey Blake. And neither one of the prize prospects are in Dodger blue anymore. That's the way it goes in this game sometimes. You never know.
Andy LaRoche's not even playing every day with the Pirates.
You got Pedro Alvarez.
We go from prospect to suspect very quickly in this game at the major league level.
Strike call. Dave Bush rings him up.
Third strikeout for Bush. He's got good control tonight. And a good comeback sinker on the inside corner. Boy, that had plenty to play. You wonder what Blake DeWitt's looking for. Well, the fastball right down the middle. Well, just above the knees.
A strikeout in each inning so far for Bush. One away in the 3rd. And that's off his bare hand and into center field. Darwin Barney with his first at bat at Miller Park Singles back up the middle, and let's hope Bush is all right. I think it caught a piece of flesh on the mound. At least it sounded that way.
Yeah, might have got that hand out of there, actually. He didn't slow it down. His reaction was that it did hit him. But no training staff coming out. He'll be okay, whether it hit him or not.
Darwin Barney getting the starts at third base in the absence of Aramis Ramirez. Here's Zambrano now. Very good hitting pitcher at the plate. Zambrano this year is 9 for 40. Has a home run, 5 RBIs. Remember, he spent much of the year in the bullpen and then a month of the season on the restricted list. So here's a guy with 21 career home runs and a .235 career batting average.
Yeah, switch hitter.
And there's a base hit. And Barney around second. He'll stop there. So back-to-back hits from the bottom of the Cubs batting order.
Yeah, got a fastball up in the zone to both Barney and Zambrano were able to fight it off in the left field. Even with a pitcher up there, you can't make mistakes up in the zone. Not when you're only throwing about 90 miles an hour. And Zambrano is a good enough hitter to fight it off in the left field.
Two on, one out, top of the order now. Kosuke Fukudome will hit for the Cubs. The Cubs are hopeful that Aramis Ramirez might be able to return as a pinch hitter during this series. He is battling a sore quadricep muscle in his right leg. Had to leave the game on September 5th and didn't play in the series against Houston.
Yeah, Ramirez has been out quite a bit. He's only got 107 games under his belt. But his production's been pretty good. I mean, for 107 games, 22 homers and 73 RBIs.
Just having a hard time staying healthy these days. That's one of the main reasons the Brewers were able to get Casey McGee. Ball and 2 strikes on Fukudome. It was McGee who came up with the Cubs in 08 in September. And the year that Ramirez was injured. And there was no spot for him. There was no spot for him at third base. He wasn't going to beat out Aramis Ramirez for the job at third. And they didn't really feel like McGee had a spot on the big league roster in a utility role. So they dropped him off the roster. The Brewers picked him up on waivers. And what a find he has been for Doug Melvin and company. Here's a chance. Weeks, and he throws it away. A run will score. Zambrano on his way to third. Fukudome into second. And instead of an out, maybe a double play. All the runners advance and the Cubs are on the board.
Yeah, that was the problem. You're trying to turn a double play like that. That was a very awkward throw by Ricky. Wasn't able to steady his feet. A little jump throw to second, not even close. You could see the momentum of Escobar. He's thinking about the double play. It gets by him, and that'll certainly be an error on Ricky and a run on the board. Well, you hate to see that. You got to make sure of one. How many times you heard that? Just make sure of one. If you get the double play, that's a bonus.
Well, Weeks this year has been sure-handed, having his best year defensively, as a matter of fact, along with his best year offensively. But a miscue there, and a run is in. Second and third now for Starlin Castro, and he takes a strike. Castro has been in the doghouse of Mike Quade recently. Matter of fact, Mike Quade kept him out of the starting lineup for a couple of days. Not running out balls, not pleased with his effort on the field, and I think that more than anything else has kind of sparked more interest in Mike Quade as a potential successor to Lou Piniella.
Yeah, making everybody accountable, no matter who you are. If you're a big-time young prospect or a veteran player, we're not getting the job done, you lose your focus. Sit out a couple of days. That'll wake him up.
Well, since then, Quade has downplayed it, saying that, you know, he's just a young player. He's a young player who is prone to mistakes on that side of it, and it was just a teaching moment. And where have you heard that before? Right. That's something you hear from Ken Maka quite a bit. A teaching moment. And you hope it was a teaching moment. You hate to see guys
a lot of
take it for
ability.
granted.
Man, a lot of ability right there, this kid, Starlin Castro. They've been talking about him for a couple of years.
No balls, 2 strikes on Castro. Nice play, Jonathan Lucroy.
A lot of young players on both of these ball clubs that will shape the rivalry between these two teams for many years to come. And a beautiful play by Jonathan. Look how far off the outside corner that pitch ended up.
Another one, Lucroy keeps in front. Count evens are 2 balls, 2 strikes.
And Lucroy's made a marked improvement blocking pitches from, his first couple of weeks in the big leagues. Done a nice job keeping the ball in the dirt in front of him.
Anxious to see how his career unfolds here in Milwaukee. Such a hard-nosed player, Jonathan Lucroy. Love the way he catches a game. He gets rave reviews from Brad Fisher, who handles the Brewers catching at the big league level. It's Castro into left, Braun going back, and he'll make the catch, but it's going to be deep enough to score Zambrano, and the Cubs have a 2-0 lead. Sacrifice fly and an RBI for Starlin Castro.
Yeah, one mistake turns into 2 runs. The Cubs able to take advantage of the miscue out there for the Brewers. It seems like that's been the case for the Brewers, particularly the last couple of weeks, since the beginning of the last road trip. One mistake here or there, and the floodgates open with big runs. And it cost Dave Bush 2 runs in this inning.
2 outs, runner at second, and here's Marlon Byrd. I was thinking about the rivalry between these two teams and the young players that are now inserted into this rivalry. Guys like Lucroy and Starlin Castro, Alcides Escobar. And I was talking to some of the guys who were in Nashville earlier this year, and they say that it even goes down into the AAA level and the AA level, because both organizations are in the Southern League in AA and in the Pacific Coast League in AAA. So the Iowa Cubs in AAA and the Nashville Sounds, as it has been. There's always a little something extra to that series as well. And so when these guys get to the big leagues with their respective organizations, it's already kind of embedded in them.
Yeah,
which you kind of like.
They've already got that angst amongst each other.
That's what makes it fun.
I wonder if the Nashville fans infiltrate the Iowa ballpark and vice versa. Upsetting everybody in each ballpark.
I'm sure that's the case. Might not resonate with the fans so much, I'm thinking. Maybe just the players. Here's McGee, and it's in time to get Bird. The inning is over, but an error was costly. 2 runs in for the Cubs. Very good since rejoining the rotation. In his 6 starts, he's won 4 of them. 4-0 record, an ERA of 1.98, and only 1 homer allowed. And to show you how good his stuff is, check the opponent's batting average.
Hasn't given up more than 2 runs in any one of those starts. He has been very good. And really a new look Zambrano. He's topped out tonight at 93. He threw 1 pitch in the first inning at 93, but overall 90, 91 miles an hour.
5-0 here at Miller Park. And he's on a good stretch here at this ballpark. That includes the no-hitter he had against the Astros. We're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of that no-hitter, which occurred September 14th of 08. And at the time, it was a hurricane that was moving through southeast Texas that forced the Astros out of their home ballpark, which is why the Cubs and the Astros had to play an Astros home series here at Miller Park.
Yeah, an hour and a half from Wrigley Field. Go figure.
So much for a home game for the Stros.
Right. He almost got no hit the next night.
Lucroy, shallow right. Fukudome cannot get there. And a base hit for Jonathan Lucroy. Miller Park takes one, takes all. Even Cubs can play at Miller Park. The Cubs were the road team in that game, and in a bit of a statement, the Astros also wore their road grays, not feeling like they should have had to come all the way up to Milwaukee to play a home game, but it was Zambrano who stole the show and threw the no-hitter September 14th of 2008.
Boy, you just can't see that enough, can you?
There was one move, however, that you have to give the Cubs players credit. And it was actually Jim Edmonds, I believe, who stepped up, because they were going to spray champagne in the Brewers clubhouse. The Cubs used the Brewers clubhouse that day. And Jim Edmonds came in there and said, no, we're not doing that.
This isn't our house.
We're going to the hallway or out on the field. We're not going to ruin their clubhouse for a moment in Cubs history. So that was a good move by Jim Edmonds.
Good for him.
Who would later become a Brewer.
Right. And Ted Lilly the next night took a no-hitter, what, in the 7th inning? Yeah.
Would you like us to cue up the highlights from that game?
No, I'd rather see that one than the other one.
You want to see the hit? Lucroy takes off. Bush swings away. Now Lucroy has to scurry back. Castro fires, and it's another double play. Lucroy had his head down. He didn't see the ball in the air and gets doubled up.
Well, the hit and run was on. Hey, you don't really see that a whole lot, do you? With the number 8 hitter on base, the pitcher up, and you put a hit and run on. Lucroy just not able to get back in time. That's a good arm by Castro.
Not many shortstops in the league with that kind of arm, but we have a matchup of 2 very strong arm shortstops in this series.
They want Jonathan, not a very big lead, and still doesn't really see where the ball is. Now he finds it, and Castro has to wait for it, and still able to get him at first base.
Well, 2 double plays for the Cubs tonight. A ground ball double play in the 2nd, and now the double play here in the 3rd inning. Ricky Weeks struck out in the 1st. Big question with Ricky Weeks, will he have a 30-homer season as the leadoff hitter? He's at 26 to start play tonight. 26 homers, 78 RBIs. And all across the board, his numbers are outstanding. 268 average. His on-base percentage is at 364. You maybe would like that up over 370, but when you're hitting those kind of home runs.
I'd say for a leadoff hitter these days, anything over 350 is considered good.
Weeks down on strikes. So a scoreless inning for Zambrano. The Brewers run themselves out of an inning in the 3rd.
At every home game this season, the Foundation stages a 50-50 raffle. Tickets are sold by Foundation team members to fans throughout the ballpark for just $2. 50% of the net revenues are awarded to a lucky fan each game, with the remaining proceeds going to the Foundation. To date, guys, they have raised $650,000.
That is a great idea, and it's the first year in play. It was an idea that the Chicago White Sox first unveiled, and the invitation is a form of flattery, and at the end of the day, they've raised a lot of money.
Yeah, it works.
It's a good one.
People have a lot of fun with it.
You know what? It kind of reminds you of Little League baseball, right? You know, you go to Little League games, they'd always have a raffle going. Help pay for the concession stand. So you get to keep that tradition alive here in the big leagues. Any connection to youth baseball is a good thing. As Bush strikes out Michael Hoffpauir. Dave Bush with 4 strikeouts already.
And Bush, he got that good tailing fastball working for him tonight. Check it out. That pitch right on the outside corner. The Cubs taking a lot of fastballs for strikes tonight. Dave Bush, ordinarily a big time, cut fastball, curveballs, changeups, those types of pitches, but we saw a little bit in Philadelphia, very aggressive with the fastball.
And one feeds on the other, which is why it's so important to have command. Bush is not a guy who overpowers hitters. He doesn't have the big fastball in the mid-90s, so he relies on command. And there's a good example of the movement that he has. Dave Bush, he uses that cut fastball on the outside corner. That's a pitch that breaks away from a hitter. But what sets up that pitch is the comeback sinker that starts in the same spot but comes back into a right-handed hitter. How about that, Charlie, from Bush?
Yeah.
He's throwing it right where he wants to so far tonight.
Yeah, the comeback sinker is a pitch that we haven't seen him use for a while, but it looks like he's trying to break it out again.
Another curveball.
A comeback sinker for Bush. Very good glove side. Away from a right-handed hitter, in on a left-handed hitter. Starts off the plate and then catches the edge. I haven't seen many of those from Bushy this year, particularly since the second half started.
Yeah, that's a delicate pitch that not many can command very well. There's a cutter, and it strikes out Giovanni Soto.
And we talked about establishing that sinker off the outside corner. This one starts off the corner and goes the other way. So nothing really straight coming out of the hand of Dave Bush tonight.
How about our AT&T trivia tonight, partner? We have the question: who holds the Brewers franchise record for RBIs as a third baseman in a single season? You might be surprised. I'll give you a hint. He's in the ballpark tonight.
Yeah, it was in the notes today.
And if you want a copy of the notes, you'll find it there if you'd like to cheat.
MLB.com.
Mike Vasallo's award-winning game notes. Big cut of the miss. That curveball from Bush.
That Bugs Bunny curveball. He gets to the apex and just kind of stops and then goes down. That's a good pitch for Bush.
And probably wouldn't win him a prize on the speed pitch up on the concourse. See what he does here. The 1-2. And tries the cut fastball he missed.
I didn't misuse the word apex, did I?
No, nice usage.
I'm a little nervous as it was coming out.
He must have worked a crossword puzzle today.
Yeah. Leave through the thesaurus this afternoon.
That's scary. Good Scrabble word, Rock.
Don't you have a thesaurus just laying around the house?
Everybody should.
Got a daughter in school.
Just because you're not in school anymore doesn't mean you stop learning, Rock.
That's what they say.
Full count. See if Bush can strike out the side here in the fourth. And Soriano lays off. Had him on 2. Soriano draws the 2-out walk. And that's the first walk issued by Bush.
Yeah, didn't want to challenge him with that fastball. Soriano almost took him out of the ballpark. His first time up, took Dickerson deep into center. They tried to get him to chase a curveball with 2 strikes.
Now Blake DeWitt, who struck out looking in the 3rd inning. Blake DeWitt was the Dodgers opening day 3rd baseman back in 08 at the age of 22. At the time, he had not played a game above Double-A before he made his major league debut. Joe Torre liked him a lot, thought he was going to be an impact type player with great defense. They moved him to second base after they acquired Casey Blake, former 1st-round draft pick by the Dodgers. Just before the trade deadline, he was shipped to Chicago, part of that Ted Lilly deal. I think the Cubs feel a lot like the Brewers in their front offices. A lot of work to be done, but encouraged by some of the young players they've seen. I know the Brewers are very happy with what they've seen out of Lucroy and Escobar, Kane, and then the bullpen arms like Braddock and Axford.
Anxious to see Mark Rogers get in the ball game.
There's another walk. Back-to-back walks with 2 out.
And Mark Rogers, the 1st-round draft choice in 2004. Jeremy Jeffress. 2006, everybody knows who the 2005 was, 1st rounder, Ryan Braun. But they say Rogers really humping it up down in the minor leagues. He's hitting triple digits.
Might see him make his major league debut tonight. Ken Maka was saying that he would like to get Mark Rogers in at some point, and with more on that story, here's Drew Olson.
Well, B.A. Darwin Barney stepping in for the Cubs, and you talked about him being a replacement for Aramis Ramirez. He was actually a late addition to their lineup. He replaced Jeff Baker, who's nursing an Achilles injury, so Mike Waddy's got a bit of a short bench today, even in September. Now, if Darwin Barney's name seems familiar, it's not because he's your investment guy or your stockbroker. It's because he was a stud at Oregon State a couple of years ago when they were in the College World Series.
And it's not a name that's easily forgotten, right? Darwin Barney. The Beavers of Oregon State.
Doesn't matter what your name is, if you can hit. And we'll see if he can hit.
Hit .297 in AAA this year in 113 games. Playing for the Iowa Cubs in Des Moines.
Hey, strike out 2 batters to start this inning. Now Bushy having a tough time finding home plate. Just like that. Walked DeWitt on 4 pitches. And then falling behind Barney 2-0.
There's a strike. So we were talking about Mark Rogers and the fact that his arm is back intact after a couple of surgeries, hitting triple digits in his last few outings, which is very encouraging. And Rogers is in the bullpen tonight. It's not out of the question he could get a start before the season's over. That one's whistled into right. Corey Hart is there for the out. And the side retired. The Brewers catch a break. off to a pretty good start. He has 5 strikeouts through the first 4 innings, but a costly error by Weeks in the third set up 2 runs for Chicago. Sacrifice fly and an RBI from Starlin Castro, driving in the second Cubs run. Bush stranding 2 base runners in the fourth. 5 strikeouts through 4 innings with 2 walks. Meanwhile, Carlos Zambrano has faced the minimum. Check that, 1 over the minimum. Despite 2 walks and a hit, he has been the benefactor of 2 double plays in this game. Corey Hart leads off. Zambrano struck him out in the first. Zambrano with 4 strikeouts. He struck out the side in the first inning. That one's hit well, but right at Marlon Byrd for the first out. It's time now for the U.S. Cellular text to vote question for the week. We'll give you tonight's results during Brewers Live postgame. And the final results coming on Sunday. The question of the week is, what is the best division race in the final month of the season? You can text your answer to 234-234. That's W for the NL West, X for the NL East, Y for the AL East, and Z for the AL Central. Just text the corresponding letter to 234-234. Some races are tightening up, some getting some separation, especially the American League Central, where the Minnesota Twins have now opened up a 6-game lead on the Chicago White Sox.
That's something.
They picked up 3 games in 5 days.
Did you notice the Cincinnati Reds have lost 5 straight?
At one point, the Reds had an 8-game lead over the Cardinals. St. Louis within 5 of Cincinnati.
Cincinnati very fortunate the Brewers took 2 out of 3 from St. Louis.
And you know the Cardinals have to be kicking themselves. Cincinnati got swept in Colorado. And yesterday had to be especially tough. There was a steal of home in the 8th inning for the Rockies that proved to be the game winner. That's where it stands as of today. The Yankees and the Rays, you figure they'll come down to the end. Tampa Bay and New York have 7 more meetings before the season is over. Head-to-head matchups between those 2 teams. San Diego lost last night. The Giants won again. Giants are within a game of the Padres, and those 2 will play tonight. Jonathan Sanchez against Clayton Richard in that one tonight.
I think that NL East is going to be the most interesting finish. Both of them very good home records. 2 of the top home records in baseball, but Atlanta 10 games under on the road. The Phillies only 2 games over. So it's probably going to come down to who plays better on the road between those 2.
Philadelphia is a game up on Atlanta. The Braves are home against St. Louis. The Cardinals have a 4-2 lead in the 6th inning. Meanwhile, the Phillies, they are on the road tonight. They're in New York, and a 7-3 lead on the Mets. Well, the Mets got some bad news today. Johan Santana is headed for the knife. He's going to have surgery on his shoulder. As Braun bounces out for the 2nd out of the inning. Back to our AT&T trivia. We wanted to know who holds the Brewers franchise record for RBIs as a 3rd baseman, and it's Ryan Braun. And those of you diehard Brewers fans know that Braun came up as a 3rd baseman in 07 and drove in 97 runs, and he didn't make his major league debut until the 26th of May. Spent the first 6 weeks down in AAA.
Yeah, Casey McGee needs 6 RBIs to pass him. Casey with 92 RBIs.
Fielder into left center, and that is going to fall. A base hit. Soriano got a late break. That ball was in the air a long time, but Fielder benefits from the deep outfield, and it's a 2-out single.
And not only did he get a bad break on it, but he was very, very deep out there in left field, even when Prince Fielder's not hitting. Soriano might play as deep as any left fielder in baseball. Look how far back he is. Gets a late break. That ball's got to be caught. I mean, I don't know why you got to play that deep. I mean, heel's almost scraping that warning track. You figure if it's over your head playing that deep, it's a home run anyway. What are you going to do about it? Soriano keeps the inning alive for Milwaukee.
And that gives McGee a chance with a base runner. Casey with 20 homers and 92 RBIs. And a .285 batting average after his walk in the second. Wouldn't that be something, though, if Casey McGee would set the franchise record for RBIs by a third baseman? No Brewers third baseman in franchise history with more than 100 runs batted in. And as we mentioned, Braun is the franchise leader with 97. That was the year Braun committed 26 errors at third base, which is why they moved him to left field.
He welcomed the move to left field, but you want to say one thing about Brawny. All those errors didn't affect his offense.
Nope. Two balls, two strikes on McGee. Into center field, slightly off the end of the bat, and Bird will haul it in. The inning is over. The Brewers come up empty in the fourth. Hoffman signing some of the posters. 51 of these posters will be signed, and you can find those on the auction block at brewers.com. The specially marked posters. You get it right. 51 signatures. He's number 51. And it's been impressive, really. A lot that has happened since save number 600 for Trevor Hoffman. But how willing he's been to, provide some of this merchandise, sit down and sign baseballs and sign these posters. And Zambrano lines one to right for the first out. And we actually have a Trevor Hoffman t-shirt up here. These are available down in the team store, and they sold out of these the first night. They had them available right away, and they sold out. So it's kind of a cool thing to have.
You want me to help you here?
There
Look
you
at you scuffling a little bit. How about that?
I'm really close to the camera.
There you go.
Can you shake it a little?
Isn't it nice?
There you go.
You like it there because I'm
Can you raise it up?
right?
Just leave it right there.
Yeah, right there.
It's perfect. Now it's no good.
I noticed as we talked about before, I noticed they brought up a medium.
That's not for me.
It's not going home with me.
That's for your right leg. No, that's Renee's. You always got to take care of Renee.
But talking about Trevor, I mean, you got to believe he just feels like the weight of the world's off his shoulders. I mean, so close to begin the year, and such a bad start to the season. You didn't know about midpoint in the year whether he was going to be able to get 600 this year. But he did it, and he is much more relaxed, I would imagine.
Trevor went from May 7th to August 7th between saves.
And I say I imagine more relaxed because he never changed. He was the same guy throughout the whole ordeal.
Right. That was one of the great moments at Miller Park. And, I have read there have been some journalists who have said, that there's a little bit of numbers to it and that it wasn't as great outside of Milwaukee as it was to those that are here. And maybe there was putting a personal statistics in front of team goals, and I couldn't disagree with that.
That never happened.
More.
That never happened. That's an example of people writing about things they have no idea, about. They don't know what was going on around here on a daily basis.
Right. Jonathan Axford, who pitched that night, got through the middle of the order, the heart of the Cardinal order in the 8th inning, and at no point I don't think Ken Maka is establishing Trevor Hoffman as the closer. This was the moment where maybe the save occurred in the 8th inning, and Hoffman was available for the 9th, and it worked out. I just think when you write stuff like that, I don't have the names. I know there's been a few accounts out there and some talk show fodder about
that's ridiculous.
The 600 save, but I couldn't disagree more.
I mean, what a milestone. I mean, 600 saves, that may never happen again. Of course, Mariano Rivera not too far away. Question is he going to be able to stay healthy enough? He's getting up there in age. But an incredible milestone for Trevor Hoffman, and anybody that minimizes that, you got to wonder what their motives are.
Well, we're anxious to see Trevor pitch again and wondering in what role he will pitch once again. Time is called. Fukudome was on the run. Castro called timeout.
Good thing that Castro called timeout. He would have been able to steal second base easily. He had a huge jump. Called time actually before he even took off.
In the air, fielder will give it a look, and it's just out of his reach. So you can visit the Brewers team store by Majestic between now and October 8th. Mention the Brewers yearbook special. Spend $75 or more after you mention the Brewers yearbook special and receive an official 2010 Brewers yearbook absolutely free. Be a fun thing to have, and now that Trevor Hoffman's 600 save is in there, it actually has a little more value to it. It's been a down season, but it has not been a season without some great moments. A little flare, fielder over the shoulder makes the catch. Castro retired, 2 outs.
A knuckle buster from Starlin Castro. Good pitch by Bush. And eating him up inside. That ball actually is supposed to be away. Jonathan set up on the outside corner. He busted the inside corner, and not by design, but it was effective.
Now 2 men are out.
You go into that dugout, and somebody's going to say to John, hey, that was a good call on Castro.
And then what does Jonathan say?
Thank you.
He says, I must have faked him out by setting up outside.
Yeah, I set up outside. It might look like it on the replay. Now, if you go upstairs and you look at it on the monitor, I'm setting up inside, but I told Bush to throw it inside.
Right. That was all on purpose. Just some things you don't need to admit to, you know.
You just have to know when to accept a compliment.
No balls, 2 strikes on Marlon Byrd. 0 for 2 tonight against Bush. Byrd gets hit by a lot of pitches, and Dave Bush hits a lot of batters. So not a great combination with 2 strikes. See what Lucroy does. He sets up away. Just missed. And a good take. Marlon Byrd has been hit by a pitch 17 times. Actually ties a Cubs franchise record.
Oh, where's that miss? You know, you go through this Cubs batting order. Think about the first names of the Cubs in this batting order. There's no Jims or Bills anywhere to be found.
No Bryans.
Kosuke,
Chris's.
Starlin, Marlin, Micah, Giovanni, Alfonso, Blake,
Darwin.
Right?
I get what you're going.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
Only from a guy who writes out his lineup card every day. Can you appreciate that?
Right.
This is coming from the same guy who says, hey, this particular outfield, between all 3 of them, they'll have only 12 letters in their name.
13. Brewers outfield when Lorenzo Cain started.
That's easy to write. Braun, Cain, and Hart, right?
Yeah.
13. Sorry.
It's mid-September. I'm trying to come up with something.
Anything else make the Bill Schroeder news and notes from today's lineup card?
That's it. I mean, I don't try and come up with these things. I don't seek it out.
It's just talent.
It just hits me.
It's a gift. Fukudome goes. Byrd into right. Base hit. Fukudome on the way to third. So again, Dave Bush pitching with runners on. 2 on, 2 out. And it'll be Micah Hoffpower.
That pitch up in the zone. It seems like every time he leaves one up, the Cubs are hitting it. Good news for Bush. He hasn't left too many up in the zone. Marlin able to bang that one into right, leaving it up to Micah.
A determined look from Micah. Right off the net. What do you think, Rod? Have there been more Marlins or more Micahs in big league history?
It's got to be Marlin.
Incorrect.
Really?
Who's the other Marlin you think of when you think of Marlin?
Marlin Anderson.
Right. Those are the only 2, Marlon Byrd and Marlon Anderson, in the big leagues. But there have been 5 Micahs.
Really?
Just to satisfy your scorebook query. Oh, what a play by Lucroy.
Oh, that's unbelievable. Sometimes it's better off to be lucky than good, but if you're good, it helps. Check this out. How do you pick that? You just slide on over, you backhand it, and do the best you can. I mean, there's no way to really frame or try and square yourself on a pitch like that. Bounces in front of home plate.
Well, that's a play you'll want to keep an eye on. If Bush can get out of this inning, would have been an easy run for the Cubs.
And another man in scoring position.
And it's a play that wouldn't show up anywhere in a box score. But a big one nonetheless. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Micah Hoffpower. And down he goes. So Bush gets the strikeout. A great play by Jonathan Lucroy to prevent the run. And it's still 2-0 Chicago. Games, odds are you'll like them. By Airtran, go, there's nothing stopping you. And by GMC, we are professional grade.
Hey, tonight's time of the game winner is the Nitty Gritty in Middleton. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, the Nitty Gritty gets 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game the rest of this year, April and May of 2011. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and Miller Lite. So there's 2 nitty gritties.
Oh, yeah, they're all over.
One in Middleton.
Madison. That's the birthday place. That's where you go for your birthday.
Is it?
Young and old. Ring the bell and have a good time. Give you a big birthday mug.
Middleton's over by Madison, isn't it?
Right. They're right there in the same area.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not calling it a chain yet, but they're so popular, one just couldn't hold them all.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because, Middleton, that's where Craig Kashan's from.
Verona.
Middleton, Verona.
Brad Fisher. That's his territory over there. Verona.
Is it Verona? Verona and Middleton are kind of close.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know what the address says on his electric bill, but you know, he knows the area. He knows what we're talking about.
Because I've never been invited to Craig's house.
Well, that says a lot about you. Dickerson, he is aboard with a walk. Anyway, Rock, I want to remind you that this week on Fox Saturday Baseball, that's tomorrow, it's the Cardinals and the Braves. Both teams in a playoff picture. Fox Saturday Baseball presented by Gillette returns this week, 3 p.m. Central. Everyone would say happy birthday today, speaking of the birthday place, to Michael Odino.
Our director.
Brewers television director, the man responsible for what you see, that cut right there.
And I didn't get anything for him.
Nothing. Happy birthday, Dino.
He's got to work on his birthday.
He enjoys working on his birthday. We have some gifts for Michael Odino here in the booth. Got a size medium Trevor Hoffman 600 save t-shirt.
Clement's Italian Sausage bobblehead.
I'd almost be willing to give away the Miller.
That ain't happening.
Beer head.
That's
the
not
beer
happening.
bottle.
No. That's not happening. Get over here.
Come on, Rock.
No. It's off limits.
One of the great television directors in the game of baseball. Not just saying that. And the man responsible for taking you around the ballpark. It's the hardest game, the hardest sport to be a director, because the ball can fly all over. It doesn't just go in one direction.
Out of time between action, right? Got to fill time.
That's him. Probably told somebody to shoot the roof.
Bringing Miller Park in the game into your living room.
And a bouncer to third. They get the out at second, and no chance to get Escobar. So Dickerson put out at second base.
Now Barney wanted to get rid of it very quickly, but unfortunately for him, he had to wait for DeWitt to get to second base. A one-hop smash, and it took DeWitt a while to get there. That cost him a double play right there. A little bit out of rhythm at that point.
I think that ball hit Escobar.
Yeah.
If that gets by, Escobar is at second base, but it actually hit Alcides Escobar and stayed in play.
Yeah, a lot of third basemen will trust that second baseman. Of course, these guys haven't worked together all that much. You just throw it. You throw it about waist high at second base. Let the guy get there all about the same time. They didn't do it that time, and it cost them two.
Two young infielders for the Cubs. Here's Jonathan Lucroy. It's a lazy fly ball. Soriano coming on. And he's got it for the out. 2 outs. And here comes Dave Bush. Zambrano through 4 2/3 scoreless. And he has 4 strikeouts. He's given up 2 walks. Those 2 walks came back to back in the second inning. And there was a line out for the first out and a double play for the last 2 outs of that inning. And a promising inning, the most promising inning for the Brewers, went to waste. So Bush strikes out. The inning is over. Zambrano with 5 in 5 scoreless. A lively crowd here tonight. Having some fun at the old ballpark at Miller Park. Only one more homestand after this one. This homestand wraps up Sunday. The Brewers are then headed to Houston and San Francisco on the next road trip. The final road trip of the year through New York and Cincinnati. Boy, that could be a barn burner in Cincinnati the last 3 games of the season.
Well, I hope it is. It'd be nice to go in there in the middle of the pennant race. Play spoilers in there in Cincinnati.
Giovanni Soto leads off for the Cubs.
Well, you know it's going to be interesting out there in San Francisco. They are right smack in the middle of a divisional race.
In the air. And Dickerson will make the call. First out of the inning. Well, earlier today, Casey McGee kind enough to put the microphone on for us, and we had a chance to watch his pregame routine. We asked him about his cage work before the game.
First, like 10 or 15 swings, I don't really care where the ball goes. Just trying to get the body loose and just make sure I concentrate on getting the good part of the bat on the ball. I don't really care if I hit on the ground, air, whatever. Just trying to get my hands working and get my eyes trained to watching the ball get to that good part of the bat.
That was earlier today, and as seen on Brewers Live pregame. And by the way, you can go to foxsportswisconsin.com, click on the Brewers tab, and you can see the entire interview, and you can see the process for Casey McGee, who's great about that. He's a great teacher. You figure McGee, I mean, a long time from now, you hope, when his playing days are over, is going to be an excellent coach or manager. But he talked us through some of his tools in the batting cage.
Yep, every player has a different routine. I mean, trying to get to the same place. Every hitter, you know, before a ball game, will get there very early. Take some swings in that batting cage underneath the stadium. And then you go through pretty much the same routine out on the field during the team batting practice. A little bit shorter, condensed version. But it's a routine. They do it every day. They probably take 100 swings before the game every day.
What they don't do is really like to break their routine by wearing a microphone. So we appreciate Casey allowing us into his world a little bit. It's a fascinating look at a hardworking big leaguer, Casey McGee, who truly loves playing the game. I mean, you could just tell by the way he talks.
Same guy every day. I mean, win, lose, or draw, 0 for 4, 4 for 4. You really can't tell. We talk about that with, you know, a lot of players. You know, Trevor Hoffman was like that when he was going through his tough times. And the one thing you did not see, and that's what I was getting ready to talk about, was Dale Swain, the guy that throws every one of them. I mean, Dale probably throws an hour and a half every day. Every single day. A lot of times you'll be sitting in that clubhouse, and I've experienced this firsthand on the road. You know, I go out and throw early BP once in a while. You know, I sit in there and have myself sit there until I stop sweating, which takes about 2 hours. He'll be done throwing to Casey. You know, he'll sit down in his locker. He'll grab a Gatorade or something, and lo and behold, as soon as he sits down, Ryan Braun, he'll go up there. Hey, Dale, you take me in the cage. Dale gets up without any question. Gets up and throws.
Saw the baseball loose in the outfield. Yeah, once the game starts, the hard part is over for Dale Swain.
Right.
He's done all his work. He's done all his throwing, his psychological work.
All the coaches throw a lot. Eddie throws quite a bit. You know, Marcus Hamill throws a lot. Willie Randolph. Well, Brad Fisher's actually started to throw again. He throws to the pitchers.
Bush issues a walk, a 2-out walk to Blake DeWitt. That's been a problem for Dave Bush in this game.
Did not walk a batter through the first 3 innings. And he's walked 4 since.
Bush has 3 walks with 2 outs in an inning. 2 of them came in the 4th. He got out of the mess, and now 1 here in the 6th. It's also given up a 2-out hit. Darwin Barney at the plate. He was an all-star this year, AAA Pacific Coast League. He was an all-star last year in the Southern League, which is how some of these young Brewers know him so well. There goes a runner. And a little flare that is going to fall. He just put the bat on it. And works the hit and run to perfection, does Darwin Barney.
He's hit the ball hard every time up. Didn't hit that one hard, but he put it in a pretty good spot. Just dumps it into right field. So 2 outs and nobody on. And Dave Bush is allowed to walk in a base hit. And here comes Zambrano. Pretty good hitting pitcher.
It's a 4th straight inning. The Cubs have had at least 2 base runners. Sometimes you just have to tip your hat to the hitter.
Yeah. Just reaches out. Gets the bat, end of the bat on the baseball, and got the job done.
First and third with 2 away. Zambrano is 1 for 2. And he's hit the ball hard twice. Has a single and a line drive out. Swinging for West Dallas with that hack.
All body right there, just rotating everything and bat dragging through. Not a very handsy swing right there, was it?
Staying connected, Rod. And he'll battle too. He'll give you a good at bat. And probably has as much power as any position player on his team. You should see Zambrano take batting practice. It's impressive. And he delivers one to right, a base hit. Another run is in. Carlos Zambrano has 2 hits tonight, this time an RBI. And the Cubs have a 3-0 lead. Yeah, that one stings a little bit.
Yep, Zambrano with the run scored and now an RBI. Bushy doing a nice job with the top of the order. It's been the bottom of the order that's given him problems. 6 through 9. There's that breaking ball up in the strike zone. You can't leave a breaking ball up there, not even to a pitcher. Not a very good pitch, and it cost Bush a run. So 2 outs, nobody on. A walk and 2 singles. Neither one of the hits hit all that hard.
So Dave Bush is out, and we are going to have a major league debut when we come back. Stay with us. Series, and Dave Bush pitching well early, but a costly error. Ricky Weeks committing an error in the 3rd inning, and it allowed A run to score and a runner to third. The next man up, Starlin Castro, delivered a sacrifice fly at an RBI. And the Cubs with a 2-run third inning. They have added one here in the 6th. Zambrano driving in a run. And Zambrano on the mound. 5 shutout innings with 5 strikeouts and 3 walks. Well, and we are set for a major league debut. And what a moment this must be for Brandon Kintzler. And with his first pitch, he is going to prove a whole lot of people wrong.
He was in the independent leagues last year. The Brewers signed him to a contract in July, end of July in 2009. Spent time in AA and AAA this year. Very good numbers. They say he throws pretty hard.
Not a big guy with a very big arm. Brandon Kintzler from Las Vegas, Nevada. Kintzler was spotted in the Independent League All-Star game. He was pitching for the St. Paul Saints. And Brewer scout Tim Collinsworth recommended him. He said he's listed at 6'1". He's more like about 5'10", 5'11". And his first day in the big leagues was the day Trevor Hoffman saved number 600. So what a contrast with Hoffman and the long career, historic numbers. And Kintzler making his first major league appearance here today.
I talked to Matt Gamble today around the batting cage about Kintzler. They were together in AAA. The closer down there for the Nashville Sounds, and they say he gets it up there in the mid-90s once he gets oiled up. There's Matty somewhere in there.
Kintzler will go to the Arizona Fall League after the Major League season, and he'll continue his development. Kosuke Fukudome, the batter, the 2-1. And a bouncing ball. Escobar right there, and the inning is over. And welcome to the big leagues, Brandon Kintzler. 1 batter faced, 1 out.
Regardless what Hardger Court says.
Ken Maka having some fun with the reporters before the game, talking about Carlos Zambrano's trip to the restricted list and anger management classes, courses, consultations. Hey, it's worked. Zambrano's been a different guy, and you hope he is different. You know, he was running so hot earlier, and his career has always been volatile, up and down. And that confrontation earlier this year with Derek Lee in the dugout.
You know what makes him good? I mean, you know, that passion that he has, talking about Zambrano. That's what kind of messes him up from time to time. He takes it to a new level. Maybe Michael Barrett. Wanted to fight Michael Barrett a few years ago in the dugout. It was Derek Lee this year. Bouts with the fans. He had internet elbow. Remember that?
I do remember that. And then he had cramping in the forearm because he was drinking too many Red Bulls. Had the shakes. I mean, it's been a lot of stuff with Zambrano. You can understand Cubs fans' frustration with this pitcher. At the same time, he has been a part of some great moments for the Chicago Cubs, including that no-hitter. Weeks, a little flare. Hoffpauir will make the catch.
Yeah, it's kind of that fine line with guys like Zambrano. I mean, you don't want to break them of their spirit. You know, you want them to have that flair for, you know, the emotional aspect of the game. And yet, sometimes, you know, fans are just as fed up with players that show absolutely no emotion. You know, the briefcase mentality. Why not smile? Why not get mad? Those types of things. And then you have a guy that does it to a different level with Zambrano. You can't have that either. So, hey, you want your cake and eat it too, right?
I recall the Atlanta Braves of the 90s where that's kind of where that phrase came from, the briefcase mentality. You know, those guys just didn't give you much. They showed up. They played without emotion. They won a lot.
Yeah, you can get away with that if you win.
Yeah, that's the key. And you could make a case this year that the Brewers, I've talked to Ryan Braun about this too, that they have not played with the same swagger, in his words, that they did in 08 and in 09.
And get off to such a rough start this year. The schedule certainly wasn't in their favor. You know, 3 consecutive 3-city trips to start the year. I'd take it out of you early on. But it kind of started all in the beginning of the year with a slow start. Worst time to have a rough stretch, right at the beginning.
2-2 to Hart. And a called strike 3. Zambrano with his 6th. So 2 men are out for the Brewers in the 6th inning. Here comes Ryan Braun. And it was Braun on Wednesday who belted his Powerball home run number 20 of the season. Joining a group, now 5 Brewers with 20 or more home runs this year. Braun is 0 for 2 tonight against Zambrano. Here are the 5, the top 5 in the batting order. Fielder leads away with 30. And then Hart, Weeks, and McGee and Braun with 20 apiece. Good numbers for the Brewers offensively this year. But you can't count on offense to win you games. You need offense, but you can't rely on it every day because offense comes and goes.
And the one thing you need to have is defense on a daily basis. Your best teams are going to play the best defense. And it's really been the defense in the last couple of weeks for the Brewers that has cost them big. We've talked about how good the starting pitching's been. The bullpen's been good. Brewers have been able to score some runs, but it seems like every time they make a mistake defensively, it costs them 2 or 3 runs. It cost them 6 runs in an inning against St. Louis in this homestand.
Now Braun with 164 hits. Last year, he was the only National Leaguer with more than 200 hits. And it's still a possibility. He would need to average slightly less than 2 hits per game the rest of the way, which is doable. I mean, that's a big month, but it's possible. And if Braun has the kind of month he had in August, he'll blow that away.
Oh, that's a huge month.
Carlos Gonzalez is the league leader in hits with 173. So we might not have a National Leaguer with 200 hits this year. We'll chopper out to second, and that is in time for the out. Zambrano with a 3-up, 3-down, 6th. 3-0 Cubs. We head to the 7th inning at Miller Park. And by Toyota. Thank you for standing by us. For more information, visit buyatoyota.com. 2 more games remaining on this homestand after tonight. Our Miller Lite What's on Tap. A reminder, programming note, tomorrow we're on WMLW for a 6 o'clock start against the Cubs, and then Sunday afternoon for the finale. Brewers are headed to Houston after that. Brandon Kinsler back on the mound. Made his major league debut. Is making his major league debut is probably the best way to put it. But the first batter he faced, he retired. Kosuke Fukudome, now a base hit. Starlin Castro singles. I talked to Kinsler the day after the Trevor Hoffman 600 save game, and I said, what a great day to be in the big leagues for the first time. He said, you know, I'll never forget that. I'll never forget it as long as I live, to see that and to see how Trevor responded, and to be in the clubhouse for Trevor Hoffman's speech that he gave the players and some of the management. Doug Melvin relayed that to us on the air Wednesday, and pretty powerful speech.
Yep, talking about the privilege of being in the big leagues and putting on that Brewer uniform. You respect the uniform. You play hard every day. That's the only motivation you need to go out there every day and give your best. Putting on a big league uniform. Not many get to do it.
Now, in the clubhouse, it's carpeted with a giant Brewers logo right in the middle of the expansive clubhouse the Brewers have. And Trevor Hoffman pointed to that logo and he said, see this logo here? This represents the franchise. Represents the organization that gave you your chance. Don't step on it. You walk around it. What a great moment. And we appreciate Doug sharing that with us. We would have not known about it. Little jam shot. Kinsler looks the runner back and makes a play. Very calmly retiring Marlon Byrd.
Yeah, Kinsler has pretty good movement on that fastball. He's got some late tail to it. Haven't seen the mid-90s yet. I believe there's a little bit of nerves going on. You can see the way that ball bores in on the hands of Marlon Byrd. And an easy out.
Kinsler just 25 years old. Originally drafted and signed by the Padres and then released by the Padres after the 05 season. He ended up in independent ball with Winnipeg, and then he went from Winnipeg to St. Paul in the Northern League.
Yeah, had 16 saves in the minor leagues between AA and AAA this year. Good numbers.
When the Brewers signed him last year after that Northern League All-Star game, they made him a starter in Huntsville. And then this year he's been pitching exclusively out of the bullpen. Great numbers. A 2.36 ERA in AAA this season. Had an oblique injury that set him back a little bit. He tried to pitch through that and eventually had to go on the disabled list. But his AA numbers just jump off the page at you. In 22 innings in AA this year, he gave up just 1 earned run and 1 walk to go along with 23 strikeouts.
Yeah.
How about those numbers?
1 walk, 23 strikeouts. You love to see that. That's the kind of numbers that, you know, an organization will look at and say, you're going to give this guy a chance. Anybody can come in there and throw strikes.
He's been pitching with the Wolf at the door his entire career, and here he is in the big leagues. And you know, his family has to be so proud to see this. You love guys, and he reminds me a lot of Casey McGee. Guys tell you can't, but you keep putting up numbers. It's a tough game to break through when you're not, quote unquote, on the prospect list. Those guys tend to be moved quickly. And he strikes out Micah Hoffpower. So his first major league strikeout, Brandon Kinsler. And now 2 outs in the 7th inning.
Well, Michael Hoffpauir looks very defensive up there at the plate. Check out this swing. Looked like it might have been low, but not sure what that swing was from Hoffpauir. You remember Hoffpauir in spring training? Well, that guy can hit. He still can hit, but he's certainly having a rough night tonight.
Giovanni Soto loves that first pitch. 95 with the fastball from Kinsler. Hitters say that's what surprises you the most about Kinsler. You look at him, you think he's going to be a finesse pitcher. And he brings it up there with velocity and some life to it at the end.
That's the thing. Look at that movement. 94 that time with some movement going down and in. A lot of young pitchers that come up these days. Last couple of years, the biggest challenge that they have is to get used to the major league strike zone. It's a lot different in the major leagues than it is down in the minor leagues. Plate's a little bit smaller up here. It takes an adjustment.
Castro at second. And a good breaking ball from Kinsler, and the count is 1-2 on Giovanni Soto. He'll get a nice hand if he punches out Soto here. Brewers fans knowing he's making his debut. And the 1-2 and a swing and a miss. Kinsler strikes out Soto. Back-to-back Ks. And a scoreless inning in the third for Brandon Kinsler.
Bottom of the 7th back here in Miller Park. The Cubs lead the Brewers by 3 runs. Davey Nelson, Telly Hughes getting you set for Brewers Live at the conclusion of this game. And Davey, still a very winnable game, but it's just the small things that's costing the Brewers big as of late.
Well, it certainly is. And, you know, the throw by Ricky Weeks with possibly a double play ball, that certainly hurt. And then when you look what happened, still a close ball game. You know, we get Bushy's gets 2 quick outs, a walk, and then 2 straight hits, score a run. Couldn't close the door.
Well, our on-field instructional tonight involves Casey McGee in the cage. You had a chance to spend a little time with him. What impressed you the most about his work ethic?
Well, the one thing that impressed me about Casey is how early he gets there to work on what he has to do in a ball game and using the whole field.
Well, that's what's coming up after the game on Brewers Live. And B.A. and Rock, I'll send it back up to you because I know Rock is just torn apart that he won't be a part of the on-field instructional tonight.
Is that true, Rock?
I haven't gotten that word yet.
Fielder hits one high in the air to right. Back is Fukudome with his back up against the wall. And he makes the catch. Almost for Prince Fielder. So what will your role be in the instructional tonight?
I don't know. I haven't heard. It's the first I've heard of. We're talking about Casey, working out before the ball game in the cage with Dale. Just missing a home run is Prince Fielder. What more can I add to that? I mean, I don't Casey talking about.
You'd only be another voice.
Right.
Kind of confusing the picture there. And you weren't down there originally anyway, right?
No.
But it was your idea, so well done. A lot of Bill Schroeder ideas every night. Glad to be a part of it, Bill.
Whatever I can help you with.
You're the leader.
You let me know.
The star. It's an analyst-driven sport. Nobody drives the bus like Bill Schrader. Trades, as they call him. He's good friends.
I haven't seen Bruce today. Bruce Fremming?
He's the inventor of these trades.
Yeah. Trades and Andy.
Take swing and a miss. Zambrano with the slow curveball, and it's strikeout number 7. You can log on to FoxSportsWisconsin.com for the latest news, stories, interviews, and coverage of the Green Bay Packers, Wisconsin Badgers, and of course the Brewers. Log on right now to see Davey Nelson catch up with Casey McGee earlier today. Casey showed Davey how he gets loose, the type of things that he works on in the batting cage. We gave you a little taste of that earlier.
Hey, just don't go in there, early in the day and just start hitting baseballs as hard as you can. There's a process, to get through. You work through a process. You do different things. You're thinking about different things throughout that whole hitting session.
Chris Dickerson rolls one to DeWitt. Zambrano is rolled along here. 7 shutout for Carlos Zambrano, 3-0 Cubs. Via text, you can text keyword forecast to short code 234234 and click on the link. Roof is open tonight. The Cubs lead the Brewers 3-0. Zambrano is pitching a gem tonight. 7 shutout innings with 7 strikeouts. And here comes Cameron Lowe celebrating his 29th birthday here today.
And good numbers for Cameron Lowe in his 44th game. He has been very good throughout the year. He's had his moments where he's had a tough time, but overall it's been a nice surprise, Cameron Lowe. Speaking of surprises, how about Kinsler tonight? Oh, well done.
Very impressive inning and a third for Brandon Kinsler. And he strikes out 2 in his inning and a third, gave up 1 hit.
Coming in, throwing strikes. Got
fastball up to 95. And more importantly, got himself out of a jam in the 7th inning.
And you talk to those who have made Major League debuts, pitchers especially. The first goal is to get out on the mound and actually be able to breathe, to catch your breath. That third deck brings a different element.
Yes, it does.
To the picture here in the big leagues.
You're in the show.
I love Major League debuts. I'll never forget my brother's Major League debut. You talk about nerve-wracking for the family. I mean, he looked calm. He wasn't, but for the families watching at home, I'm sure your folks and your brothers had the same feeling when you made your Major League debut. As Lowe strikes out, Soriano.
Made my Major League debut in Arlington Stadium in Texas. Danny Darwin was facing the Brewers. Never forget it. You're right. I mean, that's something you never forget.
What did you keep from your Major League debut? Like, what kind of mementos do you have? Anything?
My first ball, first hit.
First hit?
Yeah. First hit baseball.
Scorecard, anything like that?
No.
Because I was interested tonight as fielder finds Lowe covering the bag in time for out number 2. I was interested tonight. Remember when we were in Cincinnati and Aroldis Chapman, the first pitch he threw, they threw the ball out. And then Jeremy Jeffress made his Major League debut, and they threw that ball out too.
Right.
Nobody threw the ball out for Brandon Kinsler.
I've never seen anything like that. I mean, I think that the Brewers did that because Chapman did it. No idea why.
I agree with you.
Never seen it before.
I haven't either. I think you're right. I think the Brewers said, all right, his guy gets the ball thrown out, well, our guy will too.
And actually, Cameron Lowe should have that ball thrown out because that's the first pitch he's ever thrown to Barney. Right? Darwin Barney. I mean, save that ball.
Keep throwing these baseballs out. Little bouncer. And Lowe, throws it into the stands. That was doomed from the beginning. Lowe never really got it in his glove. And uncorked a wild one into the stands on one hop. That'll be an error on Cameron Lowe.
Yeah, what should have been about as routine a play as you can find. Not sure what went on. It took a little bit too long to wind up and throw to first base. A good pitch, a sinker off the plate. Right about here. You knew that bad things were going to happen. Prince, no chance with that one. That wasn't even close.
Two out base runners have been a problem tonight for the Crew. That is the 7th base runner allowed with 2 outs via hit, walk, or error. Second error for Milwaukee. Zambrano, who drove in a big run for the Cubs in the 6th inning. He made it 3-0. Had a 2-out single in the 6th inning. 2 hits against Busch. And working on a shutout through 7 innings, Zambrano. Little bouncer, got to hurry here. Escobar, bare hands, fires, and he throws it away. And another run will score. Boy, oh boy, the Brewers are throwing it all over the ballpark tonight. Cost them another run. It is 4-0 Cubs on the 3rd error of the game, and all of them throwing errors.
You have 3 unearned runs in the ball game, and you give up unearned runs like that. I mean, it's very difficult to win. And again, not even close. A nice bare hand pickup. Everything looked good up until the throw. Good throw gets him. Nowhere close to Prince.
That'll be an infield hit for Zambrano, his 3rd hit. And an error on Escobar to allow the run to score.
Yeah, good throw. Looks like it was going to get him, but it would have been a tremendous play to get him. That's why they give him the hit.
Now Fukudome. 3 errors tonight, and back-to-back errors on consecutive hitters has extended this inning. Carlos Zambrano with 3 hits tonight. More hits than he has given up on the mound through 7 innings. Working on a 2-hit shutout. Well, they've got a barn burner going in Atlanta. The Braves lead 8-6. Atlanta scored 6 runs in the 6th inning, playing the Cardinals at home tonight. Cardinals came back with 2 and not done yet. Another chance for Lowe. Got to hurry here. Oof. Not a very good throw, but Fielder able to make the play, and the inning is over. Yikes. 2 throwing errors the Cubs have added to their lead. Has been a big story tonight, both on the mound and at the plate. Zambrano through 7 shutout innings has given up just 2 hits, and he has 3 hits of his own. Meanwhile, Brandon Kinsler, the bright spot tonight. He made his major league debut from the independent league to the big leagues. An inning and a third, and our Mass Mutual in-game box score.
Not much going on, is there? Singles by Prince Fielder and Jonathan Lucroy. That's been it. Boy, Carlos Zambrano continues to shine since his return to the rotation. 7 starts now, and that ERA continues to drop.
Tonight's in-game box score presented by Mass Mutual. 9 hits combined. Only 2 for the Brewers. Well, Escobar will lead off, and we might be moments away from another major league debut, as Mark Rogers is loosening in the Brewers bullpen. The much anticipated Milwaukee debut of Mark Rogers.
It's good to finally see Mark Rogers healthy and throwing the baseball well.
In the air to center. Bird eases back. Out number 1. Here comes Jonathan Lucroy. Has one of the 2 Brewers hits at the plate presented by Wendy's tonight. That's been it. Lucroy and Prince Fielder with the base hits tonight. And neither one of those hits finding the barrel of the bat.
No. Dickerson hit a line drive that was caught by Zambrano in the second. That was the best scoring opportunity for Milwaukee tonight. 2 walks to start the second, and a line drive that was caught by Zambrano. Would have scored a run. And then the double play ball.
2 double plays for the Cubs tonight. Zambrano has not allowed a base runner since the 5th inning. gets sawed off, and Zambrano has his second out. Castro runs it down. So this is now the longest outing of the season for Carlos Zambrano. It had been 7 1/3. That was against the Nationals just a couple of starts ago on August 24th.
Yeah, really no trouble innings for Carlos Zambrano. When you look at a pitch count, nothing even, close to 20, mid-20s, 25, 26 pitch innings. Those are the innings that wear a pitcher down. He hasn't had any of those this night.
Joe England will pinch hit. Brewers are down 4-0. How about the year England has had against the Cubs, and a lot of those hits coming in pinch hit roles. His first pinch hit of the year was against the Cubs, had a triple. 5 hits against Chicago, 19 pinch hits this year, leads all of baseball. I told you about Carlos Zambrano since he has returned from the restricted list at the end of July. He's making his 7th start. In his previous 6, he had a 4-0 record and an ERA under 2, and he's bettered those numbers so far tonight. Pitch number 105 for Zambrano.
And really has done it without the big fastball. Remember, Zambrano used to pump that fastball 95, 96 miles an hour consistently. And I remember one pitch, 1 or 2 at 93. Everything's been in the low 90s. Thrown a couple of curveballs and splitters. And a sinker at 89 miles an hour. He's just moving the ball around is what he's doing, and doing a nice job of it.
Locating well. It's the name of the game, changing speeds and pitching to spots.
Casey McGee on a curveball. That was at 67 miles an hour that you saw.
He has not been in the stretch since the 5th after a leadoff walk to Dickerson. 3 walks, 7 strikeouts for Zambrano. And down goes England. Zambrano strikes him out, his 8th punch out, and his 3rd consecutive 3-up, 3-down inning. Maybe his best night on the mound all year. 8 shutout for Zambrano. We head to the 9th. Cubs lead the Brewers 4-0 as we head to the 9th inning. And our Ho Chunk Gaming text question tonight, Adam in Green Bay wants to know, do you think the Brewers will retire Hoffman's number? I don't think so. I mean, he was here for 2 years. And although he had a historic moment, they might do something to commemorate the 600. They might even leave that sign out there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Raleigh Fingers, how many years did Raleigh spend in Milwaukee?
Good call.
Hall of Famer. Closer. Yeah, we'll see. Mark Rogers has got to be a big day, not only for Mark Rogers, but the Brewers organization. The 2004 first-round draft choice has had a number of different arm issues, and he's finally, healthy, throwing the baseball well, and throwing well enough to get a promotion here to the major leagues. So the Brewers waited patiently for Rogers to get healthy, and he had some pretty good numbers down in Huntsville. He also made a start in AAA this year.
It's been a long road back for Mark Rogers. 2 different shoulder surgeries. And he will make his major league debut here against Starlin Castro. Rogers, as Rock mentioned, has been a starter. '24 starts in AA. As Castro sends one to center field, Dickerson right there for the out. 1 pitch, 1 out for Mark Rogers.
Yeah, we saw Rogers in spring training this year and threw the baseball very well. Fastball, slider, basically all 4 pitches. But the impressive thing, and this is what I think got the Brewers excited, he threw a couple of fastballs in his last start in the minor leagues at 100 miles an hour.
Can't teach velocity, and it's great to see the surgeries were successful. From Topsom, Maine. First round draft pick, 2004. Bouncing ball over the head of Rogers. Weeks fires in time to get the out. 2 gone in the inning. That was the same draft in 04 that featured Justin Verlander. He went second. The guy who went first that year was Matthew Bush. And if you're saying who? That's right, San Diego Padres. Matthew Bush still in the minor leagues. Justin Verlander went number 2. Philip Humber went number 3. Jeff Neiman of the Tampa Bay Rays went 4th that year in 04. And then Mark Rogers.
So first round draft choices for the Brewers, 04, 05, 06. Currently on the roster.
Yep, Rogers and Braun. Braun was the 05 first rounder, then Jeremy Jefferson 06. And hoping all are healthy. Rogers being the one that you're most concerned about after the 2 surgeries, but he's proven. We saw him a little bit this spring. He was impressive this spring, but didn't have the velocity that he showed late this season. That 96 mile an hour fastball.
And 96 at the knees.
And if you're starting to wonder about 2011 and you're starting to figure out who can complement Giovanni Gallardo, there's 2 pretty good candidates here in Mark Rogers and Jeremy Jeffress.
Yeah, thrown in the mid to upper 90s. Jeremy Jeffress he's got it up to 98 here in the big leagues. There's a 98 for you. At a Mark Rogers hand. Oh, I'd love to see velocity coming out of that bullpen. That makes up for a lot of location errors when you throw that hard.
Full count to Fukudome. Or rather, Hoffpower, beg your pardon. And a swing and a miss. As Mark Rogers, a 3-up, 3-down inning. Impressive. Welcome to the big leagues, Mark Rogers. Perseverance pays off. On the mound for the 9th inning. At this point, he is our Menards player of the game. 8 shutout innings.
He's been in command the whole night. I mean, his worst inning was back-to-back walks to start the second inning for the Brewers, but a line drive and then the double play wiped out any scoring possibilities. A much different looking Carlos Zambrano, able to manage his emotions. Of course, there wasn't a whole lot of adversity that they had to deal with here tonight. But just not throwing as hard as we remember Zambrano. I mean, we're talking low 90s, mixing it up, keeping the ball down, and not the Zambrano that you remember.
Zambrano signed that 5-year deal, over $90 million back in 08. I believe I said he was at the end of that contract. That actually ends in 2012. But a lot of teams with interest for Zambrano moving into the offseason. Last complete game shutout against the Giants, and he strikes out Ricky Weeks. 9 strikeouts for Carlos Zambrano.
Take it out. At that sinking fastball at 89 miles an hour. Started on the outside corner, ended up right down the middle.
He's had 1 complete game in each of the last 3 years. As Hart lifts one to right. Backing up is Fukudome, and it's out number 2. Zambrano is making it look easy. He's faced 2 over the minimum. Brewers with just 2 hits tonight. Zambrano walked 3, a couple of double plays, wiped out base runners. Ryan Braun, the last hope. Well, U.S. Cellular text to vote question. What is the best division race in the final month of the season? We want to hear from you. Text your answer to 234-234. We'll give you tonight's results in our Brewers Live postgame show. Sends one to left, a base hit. The first hit for the Brewers since the 4th inning. Ryan's 1 for 4, and this one continues. It'll get Fielder another swat at Zambrano.
It's been a while since the Brewers had a base runner. You're right. There's that fastball that was supposed to be away, ended up inner half, and Braun able to get one out of the reach of Castro. Get on the board here.
Fielder narrowly missed a home run in the 7th. Missed it by the slightest of margins on the bat. Sent Fukudome all the way to the wall and right. Braun takes off. No play on Ryan. No stolen base there, I would imagine. Defensive indifference. But a base hit will break the shutout. Bouncer into the shift. Fielder digging hard, and it's bobbled by Castro.
Not sure they're going to be able to get him anyway. They were playing so deep. Ball off the end of the bat. That should be a hit.
Biggin was.
Look how deep Castro is. Look how far he has to go, and we'll see how they score it. I'd give him a hit.
Oh, crazy that they're playing so deep. Well, and Mike Quaddy is going to make the change. So no complete game for Zambrano. And now the Brewers will send the tying run to the on-deck circle. Need another base runner to bring the tying run up. Here comes Marmol. Zambrano is out. We'll take a break. Attack 8 2/3 innings.
The old Carlos Zambrano might have blown his stack on that decision. Interesting, not many managers would do that, particularly with a team that's not in the pennant race. But here comes their closer, 28 out of 33, 66 game for Marmol this year.
Has not been as dominant as he was a year ago. As McGee swings at the first pitch. And it's going to be a one-pitch save for Carlos Marmol. The Cubs win a shutout tonight combined from Zambrano and Marmol. And a 4-0 Cubs victory in Game 1, number 29 for the Cubs closer. Still much more to come on this game. Telly Hughes, what do you have coming up for us on Brewers Live?
Well, on Brewers Live, PA, we'll take a look at how the defense has failed the Brewers as of late. We'll also have dugout reaction with Drew Olson, our on-field instructional. We'll take a look at Casey McGee's work in the cage. We'll hear from Ken Maka, and we'll preview the next 2 games of this 3-game series.